If there's just one thing that the best mix engineers in the world are doing that you're probably not doing, it is manually de-essing your vocals. And I think I just found the quickest way to do it, and I want to show you how. All right, if you're new here, my name is Malcolm Owen-Flood, and I teach DIY audio mixing and recording here on YouTube, but I also co-host a podcast called the Self-Recording Band Podcast, and we just interviewed Jaycen Joshua at a live conference over in Germany. It was amazing. Jaycen Joshua, if you're not familiar, is probably the world's most successful mix engineer ever, potentially. He's just a monster. He's at the forefront of his game. I learned a ton talking to him, so go check out that interview, of course. But while watching his masterclass, he mentioned that he still manually de-esses all of his vocals. And Jaycen Joshua and other mix engineers of that league usually have mix assistants who also will go through and do a lot of the stuff for them. And that is the main reason that you're probably not already doing this. Manually de-essing your lead vocals takes a lot of time. It's labor intensive. Why would you when you have a de-essing plugin that seems to do a good job? Well, the main reason I would argue that you should still manually de-ess your lead vocals is that it does sound better, it sounds more natural, and it is actually more reliable as well, where you are not relying on a piece of software to automatically grab everything. So by manually doing it, you can ensure that you are getting every S to sound exactly how you want. But that doesn't really solve the problem of it just being a total pain in the ass. But I think I have found the quickest way to do it, and I want to show you. I'm working inside of Pro Tools, but I think you could do this with pretty well any DAW. You're just going to have to kind of take the concept and apply it there. Now let's look at the most common way of doing it, and then I'll show you the fastest way. Usually people would find an S. So here is a little S right here. It's pretty loud. I'll give you a little context. And that's what we want to turn down. So the most common way people would usually deal with that is clip gaining it. So we just put a couple dots there, and then we can drag that down to whatever we think is appropriate. Let's try right there, 8.8. That seems a little aggressive, and what I don't like is that it creates these kind of straight lines that sound a little jagged if you're not perfectly placed. So we might want to just come up a little bit more. Let's try around 6.5, and then ease off those angles so it's not such a hard edit. Let's try that. Sounds much better, but doing that for every S in this song would take an enormous amount of time. And I'm not interested in doing that personally. You probably aren't either. If I had 6 mix engineers that were working for me on every song like Jaycen Joshua does, then I probably would. But I don't, so I got to figure out a quicker way. And this is the trick. So let's undo all of that. We found our S. We're just going to highlight it. And we're going to bring up this clip effects panel down at the bottom on Pro Tools. Another place you could do this is Audio Suite, but clip effects is really powerful. I recommend implementing it into your workflow because there's kind of like no limit to what you can accomplish here. So I'm going to bring that up, and all I'm going to do is split the clip. Now that has created a region with just that S, and I'm going to trim it down that same amount we liked. I think it was around 6.5. There we go. It's negative 6.5 on our input trim. And that has just turned down that clip. So it's the same as just clip gaining it down so far, but the speed of this comes apparent shortly. But just to prove it, let's listen to it here. And then I will bypass that so we can hear that it will be louder if I hadn't done that. So we've definitely improved that level. I'm actually going to go down to slightly more. Let's go to like 7 something. There we go, 7.2, sure. Now, here is why it's faster. First off, instead of having to adjust the curves to make it not so abrupt, we can just do a batch fade. So Command F in Pro Tools brings up this dialog, and I've gone with 25 milliseconds on the top and tail of it, and then I click Enter, automatically crossfades those clips. But there's another S right after. Do we have to repeat all that work? No, we don't. So again, in Pro Tools, all I have to do is just save this setting. Let's go to that same clip that has that negative 7.2, and keep in mind, we could also EQ them differently. We could do anything, whatever we want. And then if I hold Command and click 5 on this preset, I just saved that setting to 5. So you can dial in your perfect de-ess scenario for that vocalist and then save it to a preset and apply it wherever throughout their clip that you want. So let's just go find another S. Right there. She is really loud. That's a bad one. So I just go, I split the clip, I click 5, and it, bam, there we go, 7.2, negative 7.2. And then I batch fade it. And we listen. Where she go? I feel something. Something. Let's get that. Split. 5. Fade. I feel something. I feel drunken. Barely know what to tell you. So not only is it very quick, customizable, it's also non-destructive, which is why I like it over Audio Suite. If we did Audio Suite, we could just bring up that same EQ plugin or anything with a gain knob for that matter, but let's just go with the EQ. I could adjust the trim to match, and then I could just grab a region and render it, and it would be done. But now that clip is destructively changed, and if I want to go back and tweak it, it's more of a pain. So I think that this clip effects panel is kind of the best solution for doing this. And like I said, every song, I just go find an S, dial it in, save that preset to the same number. I'm not worried about always having that exact amount because it's going to be different from singer to singer. And I might tweak the EQ differently from singer to singer too. So start the process, find a bad S, tweak it, make that my preset, go through, apply it to all of them. And then if I need to tweak from there, I can. And one last pro tip to send you off with is that I still would use a de-esser after this. This is just kind of like my manual go after the offending ones, and then I can use a lighter de-esser that's just going to have to work less hard and sound more natural. And this is going to give you a way more human sounding vocal because it's really something that we wish that was fixed in the performance. And this is the closest way to doing that. So I hope this helped. And if you're looking for a free mixing resource to help you level up your mixes with the free plugins you already own, check out the resource down below, Standout Mixes. Doesn't matter what DAW you're on. That's down there for you for free. So check that out. And please do subscribe and check out one of these next videos. Adios.